Hello everyone, welcome to Philosophy 150C. My name is Matt DiStefano and I'm the instructor for the course. I want to do a short introductory video telling you a little bit about the course itself and talking to you about what to expect and the overall graded components. First off, I'll tell you a little bit about me as your instructor. I'm a second year PhD student here at the University of Arizona studying philosophy. I got my undergraduate degree in California at Sacramento State University, also in philosophy. And then I went on to do my master's at the University of Missouri St. Louis. Completed that 2 years ago, and then I moved to Tucson with my wife and my two cats, who you may see wandering in the background occasionally. As you might have already been able to tell, I'm not a professional videographer, so the lectures that you guys have to watch online may occasionally be painful or awkward, and I apologize for that. But given that this is our primary mode of interaction, it'll have to do, unfortunately. The overall course is a 7-week online only course. Of course, you guys can feel free to email me and set up an appointment to meet in person during and we can set up office hours or something like that. But primarily, we're going to be interacting online, which means either through email, which I'll try to respond to within 24 hours, or through the discussion board component of the course. So each week we'll be covering a different unit, which will deal with some topic in ethics. We're starting with theory, and then we'll get into more applied issues as it goes on. There will be 3 graded components of the course. So for each unit, you will have to do a discussion board post and a quiz, in addition to the actual reading and listening to the lectures. The discussion board posts are going to be addressing a certain prompt that I'll put up for each unit. You're going to want to address it in a substantive and complete way. I'm not putting a word count because I think word counts tend to make people either try and fluff up their pieces to get to the word count, or they think once they've hit that word count, they've done a sufficient job and they don't need to do anything further. But just make sure that you're answering questions to the best of your ability. The first one I'll grade a little bit more leniently and hopefully give you some feedback about whether or not you're doing the right sort of job or whether you need to provide a little bit more. But just do your best, and that's part of the discussion board component part. Then you also have the reply to one of your fellow students. Your peer reply is going to be either primarily based in agreeing or disagreeing with that other person. Of course, you can't merely write like, I agree with you or I disagree with you, but you have to provide a substantive reason why, and maybe a point that the author did not consider themselves, something you think the author may have misinterpreted, another thought to add in support of the person if you want to agree with them, another reason they might think that they're on the right track. Really, it's just about you guys engaging and doing philosophy with each other, because a philosophy course, I think they're ideally done in person for this very reason, because philosophy is so conversational. But this is the best we can do online, and it will be good because it will give you time to compose your thoughts. Sometimes, even while I'm talking here, I'm not always going to be my most composed and articulate self. But when you're typing out a discussion board post, you can often, better clarify your thoughts. Importantly, even if you disagree with someone, you still need to be civil and courteous to them. They are another student, they're a human being just like you, even though it's online and that might encourage pseudo-anonymous behavior. It's important to realize that that's not the case, and this is another student, and despite them disagreeing with you or not sharing your opinion, they deserve respect, and just like you do. So it's really important to keep the discussion civil. But I want to encourage you to go ahead and disagree if you do. You can disagree in a civil and courteous manner, and that's what makes these atmospheres so wonderful, is that we can disagree with each other while still being friendly. So that's the discussion board component part of the course. It's going to be worth 1/3 of your grade. Next are quizzes, and that'll be over the reading, and occasionally I'll throw in lectures. It's going to be primarily multiple choice, usually 4 options for each question, sometimes more. I may sprinkle some true and false in there as well. They're going to be based on a careful reading of the material in this book. If you haven't gotten the textbook already, I have the first unit. The readings are going to be available through DTL, but I do want you guys to get the book as soon as possible. and have it for the second one because I don't want to have to photocopy it for each time, and I don't even know if that's actually allowed to photocopy that much material from a textbook. But anyways, those quizzes will also be worth a third of your grade. I'm thinking 10 questions per quiz, 3 or 4 questions per reading. Although that's subject to change. It could be more or less depending on the quality and quantity of the readings that we do each week. So those are the 2 parts of the course that you'll be doing each week, in addition to reading and watching or listening to the lectures. The other component of the course is a final paper. It's a short paper. It's only 750 to 1,000 words. I haven't fully settled on the word count yet, but it's not going to be an incredibly long paper. But it will deal with an important and deep philosophical topic that we've covered in the course. Once we get closer to the end, I'll be putting up a prompt that will have a selection of prompts for you to choose from, and you can pick one, and that will be your topic for the class. If you do want to write in something that doesn't end up in the prompt, I'm happy to try and talk with you and arrange something like that. You can always email me about that. But once it gets closer, I'll also put up some materials about how to write a quality philosophy paper. Philosophy can be hard, especially as a lot of you have never taken a philosophy class before. The way that people write and read philosophy might seem foreign to you, and that's completely fine. It is very difficult and sort of weird subject when you first encounter it. But hopefully, as you read more philosophy and you begin to write on the discussion board posts, it'll become more familiar to you how to pursue this. So those are the 3 big components of the course that will ultimately determine your final grade. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about that, feel free to email me. I'm going to set up a help forum on the D2L as well, and you can post on there with any questions, and either me or maybe another student who has found that information can help guide you to the right answer. That's all the nuts and bolts that I wanted to talk about for the course itself. I really do encourage you guys to post on the introduction forum of D2L, answer the sort of questions I had there. I know it's these silly icebreaker questions, and maybe you were hoping, since not in a live class, maybe we don't have to do these silly icebreakers. But it really helps me to put a face to the username and learn a little bit about you, because it really humanizes the class, and I think it makes it a more enjoyable experience for all of us. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to taking the course with you all, and feel free again to reach out to me at any time with questions, comments, concerns, and I'll see you in the Unit 1 videos. Thanks.